package in the mail, MSX games from Japan. Collecting without fail those shoot 'em ups, and that's the plan. He doesn't just collect them, he also codes them too. Join us and we'll go on electric adventures with you.
Hey YouTube, Electric Adventures here with a special video on the game Gradius. Of course, it's 35 years ago today when I'm recording this. Hopefully it's the same day when I release it. Gradius was released in the arcades, and although I will say back in the day it is not a game that I got to play in the arcades very much. I first encountered it as the game Nemesis on my trusty MSX. It was one of the first games that I encountered. It was very expensive at the time, and whenever we got a copy, and we only had it for a couple of days, also there was the added extra challenge at the time that we had no proper MSX joysticks with 2 fire buttons, so I could only really play it with keys. So back then, even though I liked the game, I could never get very good at it. So later on, scroll many years forward, and the Gradius games are games that I've bought on multiple systems, and then even later I actually finally found some cartridges for my MSX. And the reason why I bought the very first lot of 4 cartridges for my MSX, because I never had any back in the day, because one of them was a copy of Nemesis loose. I have since updated that, so here's a complete copy of Nemesis, what Gradius was known in Japan when it was originally released for the MSX. Manual and cartridge, so I've got a nice complete copy. And the really good thing about the MSX games is they have more stages than any other versions on the other home systems at the time, and they were the first systems for it to be released on. Because Konami, one of the systems, the system that they adopted when they were programming in Japan was the MSX. So you get very decent versions, and considering the limitations of the machines, they play very well. Although very much you need a 2-button joystick. So there's the first game. And now the next game, so Gradius 2, so they wrote a sequel, and this is still for MSX1 as well, and they introduced a new expansion into the actual cartridge port that allowed a FM sound chip called SCC, which is their own, and they used it for lots of later games in the Konami range on the MSX. So here's Gradius 2, the Japanese copy. There is a Western copy as well. I don't collect variants, because MSX is expensive enough as it is, so once I have a copy in a region I pretty much stick to that. So my copy is not too bad, it's a little dark. The graphics are stepped up in this game, even though it's still the same system, and it's a much bigger cartridge. I do like these high quality Japanese boxes as well. My cartridge is in really good condition. So as I said, basically as part of this special on Gradius, I'm going to show you all of the physical Gradius titles in my collection, and then we're going to play some of them. Now, so Gradius 2 was excellent, so they also released a Gradius 2 Episode 2. And some of the concepts you see in this game in particular, you'll see in some of the later Gradius releases. So I'm showing these ones in more explicit detail. I'm not going to open everything that I have, but these MSX titles are actually quite uncommon, especially these later ones. And that one is for MSX and MSX2. I'm not 100% sure whether when you play it on MSX2 it actually uses some of the extra capabilities, but it has the SCC cartridge in it as well. So that was released in MSX2 era, but they still supported MSX1 machines. Also released before that one was the spin-off to the Gradius series, which is Salamander. I'm only including Salamander spin-off. There are all of the parody type games as well, but that would just make the list far too long. And you have Salamander as well, which is really well done. Has the SCC chip for the original MSX1. It's a very hard game, as most of the Salamander series are. As you can see, I'm very lucky to have very good quality and condition items, and they're all the Japanese versions as well, so I have a consistent set. Now, a side coverage one here. This is not released by Konami. This is released by a homebrew programmer called Opcode. He managed to port the original Nemesis across to the Coleco and get it running. It's released in this quite nice, good quality box as well. They're only released in a fairly limited number, although I believe he's going to try and make some more, just not in these hard special cases. And he did a pretty good job. He had to use a super ROM to do this, but it's pretty much the same as the original MSX game, because it requires the Super Game module, which gives you the MSX sound chip and the extra RAM, so it's pretty much the MSX version. Right, so that's the only homebrew one I'm going to cover. Now, in no particular order, just the order they happen to be stacked in. So we're going to go across the Game Boy. So I have Nemesis, so the Japanese copy for the Game Boy, and Nemesis 2. For the PlayStation Portable, so the PSP, we have Gradius Portable. Once again, I also have the Japanese version. Got to show you that because you've got the mini disc. I do like the PSP as a system. As I said, these are in no particular order, so we're jumping all over the place. So PlayStation 2. So this is the newest version of Gradius that I have. Gradius 3 and 4. I don't have Gradius 5. So that's an item missing from my collection. Now, some of the best home versions, other than the PlayStation 2 era, was for the Saturn. So you have the Gradius Deluxe Pack. So that has Gradius 1 and 2 on it. That's quite well done. And then you have the Salamander Deluxe Pack. That has Salamander Life Force and Salamander 2. So Life Force is slightly different from the original Salamander. And they're sort of like the arcade versions. And then flipping over to the PC Engine, I have Gradius, and it's really well done on the PC Engine. Obviously not quite up to what the Saturn's capabilities, but of the what I considered 8-bit systems, definitely the best version. And then we have Gradius 2 non-gopher, and that's a CD title. That plays very well, it has very good sound because of the CD. And we have the Salamander version on the PC Engine. Once again, very, very good version considering the level the system's at. I have one title for the Super Famicom, which is Gradius 3. I believe I used to have the NTSC version of this as well, but I sold it when I got this one because I've concentrated on Super Famicom. Well, I do still have a mixture of games in my collection. It is not a bad game. It does suffer from slowdown, which sort of spoils it a little bit. And then across to the Famicom, and these are very well done considering that the system's limitations. Do have smooth scrolling and quite well done graphics and speed. So you've got Gradius. Just to check there, for some reason I thought it was going to be called Nemesis like the MSX one. So once again, lucky to have a complete copy. I have Salamander. It took me ages to get a copy of this in box. The Salamander on the Famicom actually comes in this really nice clear cartridge as well. So it actually took me quite a while to get a copy of that. And Gradius 2 also came out on the Famicom, and this is really well done. There must be lots of extra, must use a fairly advanced mapper. So the NES was also expandable via its cartridge port, so the later titles have extra memory and interrupt drivers and all sorts of things to allow it to push the system even further. And of course I have the NES versions of the same things, so I've got Gradius and Life Force, as it was called in the States, so Salamander. Now I do have a copy of the Gradius collection for my DS, but I can't find that at the moment. It's inside the house somewhere. I don't believe I had the box, so I'm surprised I can't find it. I've just probably put it in the wrong place. So I believe they are all the physical items in my Gradius collection. So we better play some of them, because you can't celebrate something's birthday without celebrating the whole thing. So I'm going to concentrate on the MSX versions. Now I haven't played them for a little while, but also I probably haven't sat down and properly played them for a little while with my arcade stick that I have for my MSX. So, no warm-ups, let's see how far I get with each one. Right, so first cab off the rank is none other than Nemesis, or Gradius, for the MSX1, 1986. That's a nice title screen. So I'm using my arcade stick, which helps a lot. Now it does have, jerky scrolling. Early diff, look out. Oops, missed one. So, Gradius, you can build up, quite big weaponry. You just have to be really careful about going for certain things and remembering that things are going to come out. Now, as I was saying before I got killed, so yes, it does have jerky scrolling, but it doesn't affect how the game plays. Whoops, I got killed from behind just as I got the option. So, oops. Alright, I can't not show you at least the first boss in each game, so we will count that one as the true warm-up, okay? Right, so the idea is to build up your weaponry, and obviously not get killed. Your main ship moves quite smoothly, and they've actually used a couple of sprites on top of each other to add a bit of colour there. So now we've got our first option. This is where you start getting very powerful in Gradius, and this is what gives it its appeal you know, being able to build up the weapons. And there's also several, you know, options in what you can choose to build up too. But it does have things where, you know, that come from behind. So you do have to be careful. So, we have this mini bit before the boss here. As long as you're reasonably powered up, it's fairly safe to sit in this corner. You're rapidly pressing the fire button or holding it down if you've got the auto fire turned on. Now the laser weapon isn't actually as powerful as the single shot, but of course it can damage multiple enemies as it goes across the screen. But with a couple of options, God, I was lucky. I was extremely lucky then, by the way. Okay. Shot missed me my millimeters. Okay, so we've moved to the second stage. Now, this is important with these games because they have quite a bit of progression through, you know, different styles and things through the levels. So it's given me a forward shield, which is actually really handy. So we have I ran into a platform. So now this is the only bad thing with Gradius is if you get killed, you have to build all your weapons up again. But prudent thing, we can get back up to reasonable firepower. If you do know where most things are. Just gotta be so careful because things can fire from behind and you can't necessarily get them. Oops, I hit a platform again. I'm still alive. Things coming from behind. That's a useful one. Watch out for those things. sister. Right. Actually, in a way, if you prefer the big boss things, then these things that can get you cornered if you're not careful. Right, so that's sort of like the volcanic eruption from the first one. Oh. Amazing. I didn't expect to get this far, by the way. As you can see, we've even got new enemies in the starting area. Easter Island heads, which you can kill if you hit them enough. There we go. I actually killed one. You can see they fire lots. Kill them if you hit them in the mouth too. Oh! Amazing, I still have lives left. But now I'm going to die. Yep. There's certain parts where you get completely overwhelmed if you lose a life. So there's the first game, and it has quite a few stages for you to work your way through, and a very enjoyable game. And you can even play 2 players co-op if you want, or alternate. Alright, let's try the next title. Alright, so here we go with Gradius-2. Now they went all out with this one. It has this huge, long, big intro sequence. Hopefully you can see the nice, hear the nice FM sound coming out, which gives it an extra 3 FM sound channels, as well as it still has the original 3-channel sound from the original MSX chip to use as well. And, you know, FM modulation sound just gives you that extra sound range and shape of waveforms. It makes it really good. I'm not going to overdo the intro things. I mean, look, regardless, this is probably going to get revenue sharing, no matter what I overdo. So you got to look at the. Has Electric Adventures played this game for a while? Right, so you still have, you know, fairly rough scrolling. You have a lot more animation in character sprites, and obviously the awesome music. Not much progression in Electric Adventures gameplay. ability. Got a lot more animation in background things. Dying. Oh no, I've got caught in between two lots of things. Hang on a minute. Now, and also in difference to the first game, it doesn't knock you back to the start of the level. Same stupid mistake. Right. Okay, just to make things complicated, just slip through. We've still got things firing at us. Yeah, you've got to watch things coming from behind. Now, you get out. Oh, didn't let me sneak away with that, did it? Oh, I didn't get as far. Alright, the gameplay is going to get too long, but as you can see, it is definitely a step up from the first game. Probably the one I'm most out of practice of playing. So we'll go to Salamander next, because that was released in the same year as this one. Right, with a nice intro sequence as well. We have Salamander and FM sound. Even got a wonderful title screen, a few options on how you can play as well. Intro sequence. Okay, let's try and not stuff up as much as I did in the previous game. Weapon, then selected another one accidentally. That's what I want. So the ripple's quite good because it expands right out. Oh. Okay. It's quite a different game. Right, so we managed to get up to 3 options. Yeah, there obviously is a little bit of slowdown in this game. It is a different play style. So I managed to get through there for you. As you notice, we're scroll down a bit now. Lack of the ability to speak. Sort of concentrating on what I'm not dying for you guys. So. I'm going to keep them behind. Didn't survive. If more out of practice in that one. Give me, how embarrassing. Yes, very good game. Much harder than the other ones. A slightly different play style, which is, I suppose, 2 different teams would have developed these two. So, another one to go. Let's go before I get in. Right, so next we have Nemesis 2 Part 2 or Nemesis 3. Has big intro sequence. It's a massive cartridge. You can select different ships, so which basically selects the path you can do. I'm just going to go for the standard one. Like shield, and then you select your secondary. Now, how do your options work? Shadow is how they used to do it from the original game. So redesign panel again, ship a lot smaller. Oh, you've got to watch the sun arms. Sort of got to. Oh, I've got the sun arm again. Don't worry, I fully intend on playing cutouts this one. But the conscious decision to make the main character smaller and gives you that extra playfield room. No, this time, but I should have gone around the other way. Alright, let's call that our warm-up game. I want to show you more of this one, because it's the pinnacle of the series. It's got so many new things in it too, so we'll select all the same things. I would have continued, but you've got to press the keyboard, and that's all the way over there, I'm afraid. Okay. Now that I've renewed my brain, spike gets me. Now you can watch the sun spikes and see where it's come up the top there. Got to accept you're not going to be able to get everything. Further for you guys. That's the sun spike. Made to the first food, which in this case is not just a ship, it is a great big giant phoenix looking birdie thing. Put it in the beak. Do believe we got him. That's what I want. That shield. Shield can only take so many hits, so the series really loves the areas that you've got to shoot your way through. But on the other side of things, it does give you lots of power-ups. And it's most definitely colourful. Whoa! Oh, I'm truly toast now. Shows you how much I was powered up before. I'm really stuffed now. I don't even have speed. Well, there you go. There is a quick salute to Gradius turning 35 and a look at the games that got me into Gradius in the first place. But don't forget the really good arcade games as well. But yeah, I didn't really get to play those back in the day. And I'm very happy to be able to have so many great versions of Gradius in my collection. And it's a game that keeps on being reinvented. The later versions are really good as well. I really must pick up a copy of Gradius 5 at some stage. Alright, I'm Electric Adventures. Thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.